The following are 8 misconceptions about narcissistic abuse. We often hear of people who say it wasn't physical, so it was not abuse. Narcissistic abuse absolutely can be physical and sexual, but it often involves psycho-emotional violations such as constant judgment, belittlement, shaming, and the list goes on. And studies show that non-physical abuse is often as traumatic as physical abuse that leave lasting scars, long-term physical and mental health problems such as anxiety, depression, and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Oh, but everyone sees us as the perfect family. We have it all from the outside. But narcissists, they value external markers of success and status and often go to great lengths to present themselves well to outside influences and to outsiders, always keeping up with the Joneses type of situation. And domestic abuse does not discriminate. It happens in all homes, regardless of socioeconomic and educational differences. Whether you are dressed in designer clothes or hand-me-downs, you are vulnerable to narcissistic abuse and trauma. And it's not really mental illness because say she or he hasn't really been diagnosed. In fact, most people with narcissistic personality disorder, they remain undiagnosed in their deluded belief that they are above reproach, and their refusal to self-reflect. They don't want to self-reflect or take responsibility, and that means that they seldom seek or stick with therapy whenever they do seek it out. And as the saying goes, narcissism is a sickness in which everyone but the patient is treated. He or she just loses control. They can't help it. Narcissists, they are as aware of right and wrong as everyone else on the planet. And they are capable of controlling their behavior when it suits them. And when they want something or are with somebody that they admire or are jealous of really deep down, they may be highly solicitous and charming. And when they vent their rage and contempt, they know exactly what they are doing and are making a choice to do it. Oh, well, he or she had a difficult childhood. They had a rough upbringing. Many people, including victims of narcissistic abuse, especially victims of narcissistic abuse, have had, they've experienced trauma and hardship in childhood, and they don't become narcissistic and abusive. And excusing narcissist behavior and shielding them from the consequences, this only enables further abuse and perpetuates harm in families across generations. Oh, but she or he, they can be so nice sometimes. You just don't know the real him or her. Most people are nice most of the time. And narcissists, they are no exception. And when feeling threatened, the narcissist, their narcissistic spouses, siblings, and parents, they may be helpful, insightful, and even fun to be with. They are fun to be with. Every one of us knows how fun it is to be with a narcissist, especially in the love bombing stage. And some people are in a perpetual love bombing stage, but those people are usually acquaintances, never intimate partners. And this, like I said, this does not excuse or cancel out any of their bad behavior or the harm that they have inflicted on people just because they feel slighted, they are competitive, and feel entitled to do so. Oh, well, they're adults. They can just leave the situation. Leaving an abuser, leaving a narcissistic abuser, especially a highly manipulative and vengeful narcissist, is rarely easy to do. As partners of narcissists, particularly women, not saying that men are not victims, because they are just as much victims as women, and victims are isolated. As we all know, from friends and family, they are drained of financial resources and bullied into compliance with threats of assault, withdrawal of support, loss of child custody, and homelessness. And often they are victims of childhood trauma with vulnerability to abuse cycles. Real abuse only happens in someone else's family. That could never happen to me, not in my town, in somebody else's town. And perhaps this is one of the most destructive beliefs that somebody could have about anything. But when it comes to narcissistic abuse, the "it can't happen to me" type of thing, victims of narcissistic abuse, they typically endure years of assault to their sense of identity, safety, and sanity while being told that the abuse is not happening or that they are at fault for it. And denying our own vulnerability and hurt is often a natural response to childhood trauma, especially in a childhood when we had no power over our circumstances. But abuse is a part of the human condition, and abusers are alive and well in our institutions and communities, our neighborhoods and families. And if you or somebody you know is experiencing narcissistic abuse, there is help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline recognizes narcissistic abuse and trauma and is available 24/7 in more than 200 languages. Call 1-800-799-7233 to talk with an advocate. Hey guys, if you would like to donate to my cause, Narcissistic Abuse 101, click the PayPal link in my bio, and your donations are greatly appreciated. Thanks, guys.